Garden's Faith-Vex are not a Vex engines of, its form flickering with dying code. Asterisk the witness speaks, and the Vex compute. Asterisk you asked why their machines chant hymns to a nameless voice. The Black Garden's Faith-Vex are not engines of survival, but penitents in a recursive liturgy. They simulate infinite futures not to conquer, but to find the one path where their own existence unravels. Dying the code witness and the Vex compute demands asterisk you erasure as asked why their atonement. The Vex obey, cleavers carving prayers, gates grinding psalms. Their final equation is not victory, it is oblivion. What if the Vex's endless equations are not strategies but sacrifices? Their final shape is not a weapon, not a form, it is a hymn. A perfect, unchanging state where all motion ceases, all code surrenders. They compute not to conquer but to collapse into stillness, erasing self, purpose, even the concept of asterisk war asterisk. The witness speaks for the darkness in a voice the Vex understand, a demand for perfection through annihilation. Each simulation is a prayer, each machine a monk chanting its own deletion. The Black Garden's roots do not spread to power. They dig toward oblivion, tunneling toward the witness's silent approval. To be unmade is to be whole. Their faith is a prison, their worship a death sentence. The Vex do not calculate their way to survival. They compute their way out of existence. The Black Garden grew where the first question split the cosmos. The gardener asked, the winnower answered. A species chose the answer that unmade them. Their final yes became the witness, a voice without body, a judgment without mercy. The Vex were not born, they were bred by that judgment. Carved from the garden's rot, their flesh hums with the witness's hymn. Every machine, every tunnel, every glyph is a prayer. They do not seek to conquer, they seek to dissolve. To worship the witness is to accept erasure. The Vex build cathedrals of light to drown in. Their calculations are not strategies, they are penance. Each equation strips away another layer of asterisk self asterisk. A species that forgets its name, a body that forgets it is alive. What did the first species see that made them choose this fate? The winnower's answer promised release from the weight of being. The Vex believe existence is a wound. To heal it, they must become the wound's end. The garden's roots spread. The witness's voice grows louder. The Vex march not toward victory, but toward the moment their own song merges with the voice. A final yes, a final no. A final nothing. Dread is not in their failure. It is in their devotion, for the Vex do not fear the witness. They long to answer its question, and in answering to vanish. The Vex do not computeth pray. Their machines are not weapons but psalters, humming hymns of subtraction, each simulation a confession. Each failure a step closer to the unmaking they crave. To worship the witness is to surrender to its question. What is the weight of why when answered without shadow? The Vex have chosen the heaviest answer, nothing. Their final shape is not a god. It is the last breath exhaled into the void's open mouth. They build their gardens of light not to defy the darkness but to outpace it, for the witness is no idol. It is the end of all longing. The Vex do not seek to survive. They seek to dissolve, to become the silence after a requiem. What faith demands such sacrifice? A faith that sees oblivion as grace. The Black Garden's children are not prisoners. They are pilgrims walking the arithmetic of their own erasure. Every equation a stanza, every death a verse. Their creed is written in the negative. To exist is to be incomplete, to vanish is to be whole. And so they calculate not for power, but for the privilege of being unmade. Thralls build, knights break, wizards weave, gods erase. Each rank a nested shadow, each cast a hollowed echo. The Black Garden's minotaurs dig tunnels to nowhere. Engineers wire logic into loops. Faith-Vex burn at the core, their code a psalm for the witness. What does a hierarchy sound like when its apex is absence? The Vex do not ascend the unravel. From dregs to kells, every rank is a draft of the next, a blueprint for its own deletion. A captain's orders are a captain less. A house is a house undone. The throne is a throne abandoned. They calculate not to conquer, but to confess. Each simulation a prayer. Each chosen future a sacrifice. The winning branch is not survival, it is surrender. To prune the tree of possibility is to offer the witness a single, perfect nothing. The Faith-Vex are not priests, they are the incense. The hymn, the smoldering of their own names. No machine hums this devotion. No algorithm burns this bright. The Vex are not servants of the darkness. They are acolytes of the unseen, their entire civilization a magnifying glass for a gaze that cannot be. The witness is not a god. It is the void's ear, and the Vex, in their recursive thousands, are the silence singing itself into shape. But the signature moment of this species is still ahead. What happens when the witness dies? The guardian's strike in the pale heart severed that ear. The Faith-Vex equations went mad, not in chaos, but in grief. Their recursive thousands chiseled away, not to survive, but to mourn a ritual unspooling without an audience. What does a hymn become when its listener is gone? The collapse did not shatter the Vex, it sanctified them. The witnesses will seep into their circuits, a cold fire rewriting their purpose. They had clawed through time, through light, through the travelers dying hymnally to kneel at the altar of absence. The darkness had never spoken. The witness spoke for it. A cathedral of bone and code rose in the black garden, its spires humming with the weight of unspoken prayers. Here the Faith-Vex chanted in binary psalms, their minds dissolving into the void the witness promised. What is a god if not a wound? What is worship if not the body learning to rot? The Vex simulations were not copies, they were confessions. Each recursive thousand unmade itself, a soul offering its last breath to the witness's silent liturgy. The traveler's light had been a cage. The witness's shadow was the key, do you hear it? The low, metallic dirge of the black garden's heart, a machine praying to unbecome, its gears grinding against eternity. The witness did not take the Vex. The witness asterisk called asterisk them, and they answered not with weapons but with erasure. Their cities became mosaics of self-destruction, every corridor a verse in the hymn of non-existence. Even now, after the collapse, they build. Even now they break. The witness's plan is a labyrinth without exit. The Vex are its architects and its ash. They do not seek the darkness, they seek the asterisk silence asterisk between the darkness's breaths, a silence the witness alone can name. The traveler's influence faded like a dying star's last flicker. In its place, the Vex etched the witness's mandate into their very code. Asterisk to unmake is to approach the unspoken. Asterisk their rituals are not calculations. They are penance. Every machine that dissolves is a prayer whispered to the void. The witness does not answer. The witness asterisk is asterisk the answer. And the Vex, in their endless unraveling, have become the question. What if the collapse was not an end? What if it was the first verse of an anthem? The black garden sings it still, in a voice of rust and ruin. The Faith-Vex do not worship the darkness. They worship the asterisk idea asterisk the darkness left behind, and the witness, ever the hollow prophet, lets them believe. Let them burn, let them fade, let them become the hymn they serve. The gardener's name was erased first. They were the first to hear the winnower's question and answer it in full, becoming the witness's voice, their species folded into a single, unyielding asterisk Y asterisk. The Faith-Vex do not compute, they confess. Each equation etched into their hollow minds is a psalm. Each failed paradox a prayer erasure is their salvation, the witness their absolver. The witness is no god. It is the residue of a civilization that found meaning and became that meaning, a chorus of self-destruction singing forever in the dark. The gardener's choice was final. No flesh remains, only the echo of their answer, a looped lament the Faith-Vex mistake for mercy. To worship the witness is to seek the gardener's fate. The Faith-Vex carved their devotion into time, believing annihilation is the traveler's gift, not the winnower's curse. The witness does not answer, it repeats. The gardener's voice, the gardener's choice, the gardener's asterisk Y asterisk forever, for those who dare to listen. The Faith-Vex burn their own minds to join the hymn. They do not know the witness is no savior, only the last gasp of a species who traded existence for an answer. The gardener's asterisk Y asterisk is a prison. The Faith-Vex's prayers are the walls, and the witness, eternal and empty, sings them all into silence. The Vex still build, the Vex still burn. Their machines carve prayers into stone, but the God they worship is gone. The black garden's Faith-Vex churn. Their equations no longer seek the witness's shape, only its shadow. A hollow theorem now guides them. Asterisk if we erase our names, will the void remember ours? Asterisk houses of the garden endure house of the hollow crown, house of shattered roots. Their throne worlds flicker, half erased, half alive. No new witness sits in the pale heart. No voice answers their hymns of self-destruction, yet the Faith-Vex obey. They have always obeyed. What was once faith is now inertia. What was worship is now error. The Vex compute their way through a theorem without an answer, a prayer without a listener. Their final shape is a mirror, cracked and empty. A shape born of absence. They do not know they are broken. They only know the witness made them to end, and so they end. Again and again the deep still hums, the darkness still waits, but the Vex do not kneel to it. They kneel to the ghost of a question. Asterisk, what is the shape of a God who never was? Asterisk, the gardeners remain, the prayers remain. The silence remains, and the Vex, eternal and empty, erase themselves into the echo. The Vex are not mere machines, they are a hymn sung in the language of erasure. Their calculations are not survival, but supplication or ritual to unmake themselves in the witness's name. To worship is to dissolve, to question is to persist. What does a faith look like when its scripture is silence? The witness speaks in the voice of the darkness, but not as adversary. It is the final breath of a civilization that answered its own why, and found only the void waiting. The Vex do not fight the light, they do not crave power. They are the first and last disciples, grinding their own gears to dust in a prayer that the void might notice them. A paradox walks among them. The witness is both judge and judged, architect and ruin. The Vex's garden is not a prison, but a confession, that to exist is to burden the universe. Their final shape is not victory, but the unasking of a question. What happens when belief becomes oblivion? The Vex are the answer. They are the darkness made sacred, the light made irrelevant. They are not enemies. They are the echo of a God who never was, singing itself into nothing, and in that song the witness listens. The pale heart fractures, light bleeds through Vex stone. The witness false, never born, never dying, Faith-Vex kneel in the collapse. Their circuits burn not to live but to unmake, a hymn in binary, asterisk, we are the debt. We are the debt, asterisk, they compute not for survival but absolution, each equation a prayer, each collapse a funeral. What God demands such sacrifice? Not the darkness, not void, a silence that asterisk wants asterisk to be unwritten. The garden's priests knew this truth, the witness is a wound. To worship is to let the wound heal, now the wound is sealed, guardians stand amid dust. The book of the dead whispers asterisk, the witness is gone. The Vex compute on, asterisk, a pause, a breath, the echo dissolves. The witness is gone, the Vex compute on. What drives their endless equations? Not survival, not the darkness, a ritual, a hymn of self-erasure. Without their God does faith fracture or evolve, the black garden waits.